think you ought to know about men's radio. The place where men and women really speak. Oh man, what a show. It's men's radio. This crazy show is on 3 times a week. Now Russ and Phil are there to help with all your cares. We laugh, we cry, we talk like grown-ups do. But if you're sad and low, it won't cost you no dough. Men's radio, that's the place for you. With Russ, Kane, and Phil Dave.
Oh, what? Hello.
Crickets.
Wednesday, I tell you.
Day, missus. What a lovely day. What a lovely day. It's very weird because I normally can't see the audience. And in the digital green room, I can see the sainted Anna Kennedy, OBE. And she's looking there going, what the actual have I let myself in for? Anyway, this is Men's Radio Station. You can hear us on www.mensradiostation.com. Of course, you can see us on our YouTube channel. Please, it'll only take you a second. Can you like the YouTube channel? Can you subscribe to the YouTube channel? It'll take you 5 seconds. It makes a huge difference to all the gang at Men's Radio Station. It really, really does if you do. And also, as Philip would tell you normally, you can hear us on Deluxe Radio and radio waves. Whoosh. So if you're cruising in Barbados or you're cruising off the Scilly Isles and you're trying to get away from me and Phil, you can't. We're on radio waves on 27 cruise ships as well. Unbelievable. Okay, special day today, Philip. Special day. What are we trying? We're trying psychic connection. It's not going to work.
Well, I'm on the edge of my seat here. I'm waiting.
Well, you know, I don't dance, right? But Anna Kennedy, who's a wonderful broadcaster for us and one of the first adopters of Men's and Women's Radio Station, does a brilliant show called All Things Autism. Her life is, let us just say, interesting. She has been given an OBE for all her work and everything like that. And she's a brilliant dancer. A brilliant dancer. I just saw some clips of her and she does tap dancing like she should be in the West End. So we've only got Anna Kennedy and coming out about 12:15 with Christina Runoff from
Sorry.
Oh, lovely. Stay dancing, dear. That's a lovely thing. That's lovely. Really, back to you. Love, dear. Yeah, thank you, Tessa. That. Anyway, so she's coming on. Can't believe it. We're so excited. Martin Allen. Hi, all you gorgeous people. I think that was addressed to Phil. Phil's been giving me heart attacks all day today.
I've been trying.
You've been doing a bloody good job of it. You put my blood pressure through the damn roof.
Well, I have to explain what happened. You can't leave.
Go on.
In a nutshell, I was supposed to be going to an actual in-person meeting this morning. It was very exciting, and I did go.
And Julia Hartley Brewer.
Anyway, an actual in-person meeting this morning in town, and I had to be suited and booted and everything. It was very exciting. And I was a bit worried that this meeting was going to go on a little longer than I anticipated it might. So I said, well, hang on a second. How am I going to make my way back from where I was to back here in Hertfordshire in time to get everything set up? So I thought it better off just to warn you and say, look, you might have to fly solo. But anyway, it was avoided. I'm sure that everyone's riveted.
Basically, why don't you just tell the truth? They started the meeting with you and they thought, I am dying of boredom here. And they just ended the meeting. That's what happened.
It's true. I have that effect on people, apparently. Timmy Ward reckons that we are the radio version of Cagney and Lacey.
Yeah, I think Timmy should come out. I do. He's fooling nobody. No one. Not fooling a fool. No, not anybody. Sam Monroe. Hello, folks. I hope you had a nice time in town yesterday, Sen. Sorry I couldn't join you, but it was another 2,000 words on the book. Sue Cressman. Hello, boys. Emma Webb. Hello. Ramsey has an interesting one for you to read out, Philip.
Horrible echo in here, isn't there?
Hello.
Ramsey says...
I was just thinking of a joke. Phil Day goes to the dentist and they go, Mr. Dave, says the dentist. You have a very, very serious cavity there. You have a very serious cavity there. And Phil says, there's no need to repeat it twice. He said, it wasn't. That was the echo.
Ouch.
Let's go. Come on. Anna Kennedy like that one. She's laughing. See?
Made it to the age of nearly 35 with not so much as one.
You're only 34. You're only just 34.
Couple of months off.
I got shirts you're older than you. Anyway, you're going to read out what Ramsey's. You're in an odd mood today.
Excuse me, I'm trying to read out what Ramsey's saying. You're talking about teeth. Don't have a go at me. Anyway, right. Ramsey says, "Hello,
hello.
Are we marking National Lingerie Day as we missed it on Monday?" Yes, I am, in my own unique way, Ramsey.
Which ones? Which ones are you wearing? The ones that Timmy Alexis Carrington Ward sent you? I don't want to go there with a reinforced gusset. Oh my God. Now, Sue Cressman, I didn't know this. I just mentioned it. We have to discuss it. Sue Cressman, the queen of Nailcoat Hall, she is a former dancer. I thought she looked familiar. Sunset Strip, Wardour Street. That's where it was.
Oh, Timmy says he went to this and they said that he needs a crown. He said he'd rather have a tiara.
What have we got? What is this? Russ loved your obit on Harry Morgan's.
Believe that. That's terrible.
Well, it's interesting. I don't often get trolled on Twitter, despite all my nonsenses. And I thought the food wasn't bad. And oh my goodness me, people took offense to me saying the food wasn't bad at Harry Morgan's because they thought it was shit. And that's on a good day. Wow. I
think it was a little bit overpriced, but I didn't think it was terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. Terrible it wasn't. Brilliant it wasn't, but it was okay. If I was peckish and I was going from north to south London, I'd stop there in St John's Wood High Street if I could find somewhere to park. And amongst all the women getting out in their Range Rovers, because they need them for the huge mountains of St John's Wood. And, I'd have a sandwich and then I'd leave,
Talk to me about Range Rovers. They get in the way. Round where I am, there's quite an exclusive school near here, you see. And as a result of it, there are all well, there's that one, but I don't live that near to Habs, but I live much nearer to another one. And come for Poltergeist. Anyway.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, of course I heard it. As I was going to say.
Get the crap out of me.
What happened there? You got to get an exorcist in or something.
Don't. I was looking for a sign. Yesterday was the anniversary of my wife's passing. It's an interesting thing about grief, and we've got the Reverend Richard Coles confirmed. He's written a book about grief, and I've been after Richard to come on the show for months and months and months, and he's a very busy chap, and he's agreed. So he's coming on in the very near future. Very interesting. I was just going to make one comment about it. I didn't post about it yesterday because I wanted to get on with my book, and I don't like dwelling on the past. At the funeral, 500 people plus, right? 500 people plus at the funeral. In 2004, and 2 people contacted me yesterday. It's interesting. You just got to get on with your life, haven't you? It was an interesting little thing. Melanie Hutchins, Timmy Alexis, I could do with the exercise.
Okay, I hate to say this, but people are bad enough remembering birthdays. I don't think people remember other dates very well.
Of course they are. I'm not expecting them. No, I'm not expecting them to. Please don't think I'm being critical in the least. I'm not. Everyone's got to get on with their lives. I get on with my life. I've got a head like a sieve. But it's just an interesting thing. You have to deal with it yourself. If you expect other people to deal with it. And also people even to this day don't know what to say. And that's a whole thing we're going to be discussing with the Reverend Richard Coles. I'm very excited about him coming on. I'm absolutely delighted he is. Anyway, I would like to say, Philip.
Crazy name, crazy gal. Hello.
You think she talks like that?
I told you need an exorcist.
It's
I'm telling you.
Do you think Eve Phantom's head spins round? It's just a fantastic name. It's just a fabulous name.
That girl in the film, she's just strapped to the bed and go, seriously, that's
Linda Blair. Linda Blair was her name. Tony Blair's first wife.
Oh.
I made that up. I made that up completely. Now,
did you see Tony Blair in the newspapers today? Does someone please tell him the barbers have reopened? It's fine. Seriously.
I wrote, didn't he used to be in Genesis? And then Phil explained, because otherwise it's out of context and it doesn't make any sense.
All right.
See if you can find a photo.
I'm not going to pretend to be the former PM's number one fan, but I'm not really a fan of many former PMs. But the point is that he was in the news today for, well, I don't think this was quite his intention for being in the news, but Sue Cressman's hit the nail on the head, said Doctor Who. He's got the hair of William Hartnell, to be honest.
That's what I did. I put a picture of William Hartnell going into the TARDIS and Tony Blair with his new Genesis hairdo, and I said separated at birth. It's
extraordinary. What happened? I don't understand.
Somebody, probably Wendy Deng thought he looked good. I'll leave it there.
Up until a couple of weeks ago, I realised that there probably wasn't much choice. But for heaven's sakes, the barbers have reopened now. Come on.
Even I chopped my hair the other day. Sunday night, it was about 2 a.m. I thought, I think I'll give myself another haircut.
Can we start a whip brand for Tony Blair right now?
No, we can't. Well, not unless he's going on trial in Nuremberg. We can't. We'll wait around for that.
He's clearly in desperate need of a mirror, and I just want to buy him one.
No, thank you. Ed Grossman says, Eve, the pictures of cottages you are posting, hello, back to Timmy again. The pictures of cottages you are posting look very inviting. I haven't seen any of this. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, Paul Andrews. Can you read that, Philip?
It looks like a cross between the first Doctor Who and Doc from Back to the Future with an air of Dr. Death.
He does. Oh, it's just lock him up. Well, and Ed Grossman, I loathe Tony Blair.
Let's not get into this, but we don't want to get into
I don't want to get into the politics of it, but you know, if you
hair, I'm not you think he should be in charged for war crimes for crying out loud.
You don't think so?
I'm not. It may be, but that's not the station. This is not the discussion.
No, I know it's not. I know it's not. But it goes to people's mental health.
No, come on, for goodness' sake. It might annoy people. That's not the same.
It does annoy people. That annoys me. Anyway, there we are. It's not for us. It's not for us to dwell. There we are. That's a better picture. No, I look like I died and no one told me. Right. Great Scott, Marty. Right. I can see in the digital. No, she's gone again. She's gone. She was there.
It's true.
Gracing us. She's back. Gracing us with her beauty. There is a reason why our special guests are coming on.
Well, I'm pleased to hear it.
Oh, Sen. Sen just goes to the barbers to reminisce. Alexandra Lichtenfeld, I'm on the treadmill while watching. Darling, all of us on the treadmill. It's a metaphor for life. That's why I don't get on the treadmill. I just wake up, I think, we're on the treadmill. We're just hamsters in the wheel, man.
I was on the Northern Line this morning. Does that count?
Oh, God. If you washed your hands?
Obviously.
Okay, just checking. Shall we introduce our fabulous guests, please?
Excellent idea. Waiting in the digital green room, looking positively horrified at what lies.
They're looking aghast.
Well, you can't blame them, really.
No,
we have Anna Kennedy. Hi, Anna. Oh, now, Anna, why can't we hear you? But anyway, we've also got Chris.
We can't hear you, Anna.
Hi, guys.
Why?
Well, now, for some reason, Anna, let's see. Anna, can we hear you now? Oh, dear.
No. Can you do sign language, Anna? Or just write notes like the Bob Dylan video?
Anna, switch the earphones. Let's try that. Let's see if that works. This is live radio at its finest for you. But I'm afraid there's a problem, you see, with the technology. We can't help it. We can't. Yay, there we are. Hi.
We can hear you badly. Hello, Christina. How are you?
Hi, Russ. I'm very good. Thank you.
And I've put on, people will be noticing that A, I've brushed my hair, and B, only for Anna, obviously, and I've actually put on a formal shirt, knowing that you were being our guests. I normally am not, so that's it. Now, you've been... I'm having trouble hearing, Phil. Are you having trouble? Are you hearing?
Slightly. Christina's sound, unfortunately, is a little bit sketchy, but we'll see. Hopefully, it will.
I'm not sure why, because I hear you very well, guys. So I can.
Oh well, thank you very much. But we want to hear you.
How is that? Is that
Yeah,
any better?
let's muddle through. Let's see what we can do.
We'll get it. Now, Anna, tell us, apart from the fact
better?
we're always delighted, and thank you for everything that you do on men's radio and
We
women's
completely
radio.
lost each other.
Anna, tell us why you are here.
Yeah, because on Friday we will be celebrating as a charity Step in the Right Direction Dance Day. So as you know, I have a love of dance. So I started dancing when I was about 6 years old, and that was tap dancing. And I just love rhythms. I love music. I love the way it makes me feel. And obviously it's a little bit of escapism for me. So quite some time ago, when we started school, I started teaching some of the children dance, autistic children. And I was wondering, how would they I showed them my tap shoes, I did a few steps with them. The thing that they found difficult at first with the younger ones was their spatial awareness. They sort of didn't quite understand where their space ended and where my space began, if you like. So but then after that they started improvising, making their own steps. And then obviously Who's Got Talent came on board, which was going to be celebrating 10 years now. And we have seen some amazing dancers. So whether it's stomp, whether it's street dance, whether it's tap dancing, whether it's ballet, the children and adults, they just really thrive. And I just love the way dance makes you feel. And I think it keeps you feeling young.
But Anna, don't you think dance is almost a universal language?
Definitely, most definitely. It doesn't matter what language you speak, but dance, you can communicate. And I'm sure Christina will agree.
I will agree if you can hear me.
Oh, we can hear you beautifully now. Fantastic.
I will agree if you can hear me. Of course, whatever Anna is saying is completely true, because I also teach autistic children dancing. I have a few girls who are coming to me for quite some time now, and at first it was a very kind of an unknown territory for me, because I didn't had an experience teaching autistic children dance. But I really, a couple of parents got in touch, and I said, you know what, I'll educate myself. I'll read a little bit about it. I can see what I can do, how I can adapt. And I did, and now I have a few, like I said, clients coming, having lessons, and it's amazing how well they do. They pick up rhythm so well. They like repetition, so I just have to watch a certain way to put together the choreography. But it's such a joy, really. It's such an amazing fulfillment for me to be able to teach kids and see them just having a good time. It's so beautiful, so I'm very happy that I'm able to do that. And obviously when Anna asked me to help her to put a little dance together for Autism Dance Day, it was just, of course, a big honor and pleasure to do so.
How did you meet Anna? How did you
I've met
hook up?
Anna. Yeah, I've met Anna on Strictly. She was dancing with Robin Windsor, with my dance partner from Strictly, a few years
Robin,
back.
yes.
Yeah, because they had a special show, People Strictly, and Anna was one of the nominees for her outstanding charity work. That's how we've met.
And I was having a bit of a struggle, wasn't I, Christina, with the lifts, because I'd never been lifted before in dance. It's just, and I was sort of panicking, and then Christina stepped in and gave me some tips and gave me a little bit of confidence. And and then I was so happy. I just thought, because it was that apprehension of thinking, is he going to drop me? And obviously I knew it was just the confidence of it. I've just got to let go. I've just got to let Robin catch me.
Dancing is a lot about
Christina,
Christina,
don't you think that? Hang on a second. Don't you think that Anna should be on Strictly? Don't you think that Anna should be on Strictly, because she's a great dancer? She really is.
I think she definitely deserves to be on Strictly. I think they should do that People Strictly once a year, to get amazing people in not just charity spectrum, but perhaps NHS, any services, really. I mean, we've been through a horrific time with the whole country, right? We have a lot of people at NHS and all other services, police, who could really probably benefit from something like that experience in Strictly Come Dancing. So I can be only rooting forward toward the another show, maybe like People Strictly, but kind of taking people from different sort of type of jobs and giving them a little bit of that beautiful space, you know, on that Strictly floor. So yeah.
I know Phil was about to ask you a question, but Phil has probably sandwich time. Keil Ashmar says Anna should have won the People's Champion. And then Sue Cressman says, I remember seeing Anna on the Strictly. And here's a good thing for both of you. And it says that dancing is such a fantastic thing for your well-being, which is another reason that I was so thrilled, and as was Phil, that you could join us today. What do you think about dancing and well-being?
Dancing is, I'm always going to say that dancing is for everyone. And I'm not just saying that because we have wheelchair dancing. I was part of the show when I just moved to the UK, the Dancing on Wheels. And with my previous partner, Brian Fortuna, we were teaching wheelchair users and also celebrities. So it was 6 couples. Again, it's a shame it was only commissioned once by BBC Three, just like People Strictly. You know, so we can do people of any age, any ability or disability. It literally is for everyone. The music, the endorphins you have in your body after dancing to music, it's just make your whole being involved in that process. And this is this escapism, like Anna said, for that particular time you're in that dance studio, you just can't think of anything else. You're fully immersing yourself in that experience of music and movement. And it has such healing effect on the body and mind. You know, we're all now struggling with mental health. Every single person, me included, I'm sure everybody can say that one way or the other, the lockdown affected us all. And, you know, dancing, like now I'm able to open my studios again and teach kids classes. It's amazing how incredible it makes you feel and see others enjoying it. It's just a beautiful experience for everyone.
Now, the question I think before he disappeared that Phil was going to ask, and I can't dance for toffee. My dancing stopped at 14. The last dance I learnt was the twist. That's the only dance I can do. And I stand there like this. You can ask my cousin. But I think what Phil was going to ask you is, does everybody have... No, I drum, and I can drum pretty good, but I can't dance. So I've obviously got some sort of sense of rhythm. Does everybody have a natural sense of rhythm? Could you two teach anyone to dance?
Well, Anna can probably tell she's teaching a lot of people who probably never even thought they can move. It probably takes a bit of longer time, if you wish. I mean, let's all remember the fact that I danced with John Sargent many moons ago. Yes. And so, you know, he learned how to dance, and the gentleman at the beginning couldn't hear the beat of the music or coordinate the body. Yes, I think, you know, the rhythm, pretty much everybody can hear the rhythm. It's just moving to the rhythm what's difficult, you know, coordinating it in the body. But I think it just maybe for some people it takes longer, for some people takes a little less time. I truly believe after my 25 years of teaching that I can teach anyone to dance.
You think you could teach me and Phil to dance?
Yes.
When did you learn to dance, Christina? How old were you, and what made you want to learn to dance?
Well, I started very young because in Russia it's such a big part of our sort of school curriculum, and even kindergartens we had a teacher who would come and do some like a movement classes. So it was very little, like 3-4 years old. And let's remember that kids can dance before they can walk. The moment the little baby listens to the music, they start moving the hands and the feet and nodding the head. It's in our body. It's something very, you know, it's like within us. We can feel it. We can move it to the music, to the sounds of nature and all that. So I was very little when I started too, and then progressed, you know, with my school having all the dance lessons. But now I teach kids from 18 months old, you know, little baby ballet, going all the way to obviously ballroom dancing and street dancing and all that.
Did you just say, Phil, did you hear that? From 18 months old?
Yeah.
But what happens if you've got no hand-eye coordination? I mean, I have tried, but no, I can't do it.
You just have to try again. That's all, and don't think about it. You just have to give it a go.
Suddenly, I am right back at school. Excuse me. For I told the teacher, sorry, I can't do this. Well, you just got to try harder. Oh, thanks.
Here's a comment from Paul Claridge. I don't know how he's done this. I've seen Phil dancing. Christina will have her work cut out.
Hang on. When have you seen me dancing? I don't
When
dance.
have you seen Phil dance?
It's a
Even
challenge
in
now.
the Soho Whiskey Club after a good session have I seen him dance.
I was going to say my son Angelo is quite profoundly affected by his autism, but when we're in the car, there's a particular tune that he likes. He just rocks back, but bang on every time with the beat, and you can see the enjoyment in his face when he's doing it. And I'm watching him through the mirror as we're driving. So I just think that dance is really quite powerful. And just to touch on Dance Day, which is happening on Friday, and tomorrow is International Dance Day for everyone. But if people would like to show us your moves, because Christina's put some lovely steps together, it's on the charity website. If you'd like to tag me across social media, you have the chance of winning one of these t-shirts. So Dance Like No One's Watching t-shirt, kindly collaborating with Born Anxious. So last year we had 10 winners. So this year we're going to choose 10 winners. So if you tag me, we'll all check out every single one. I won't miss any of them. And we'll choose 10 winners, and you can win a t-shirt.
You're perfect here, guys. Must do it.
You know what I'm finding particularly fascinating, though, is that sort of when I was saying before about dance being a universal language, I think it actually goes beyond the tongue, so to speak, because it's not so much about those who are sort of from different languages or different language backgrounds. I'm actually thinking more in particular those who, how can I put it, who maybe can't communicate for whatever reason. Those who are maybe born without communication, it's a way of communicating. It is a way of expressing. And I think that there is something amazing about crumbs. It's like Piccadilly Circus in here today. First I disappear, then Russ disappears. I'm so sorry, ladies. Anyway, hopefully he'll be back shortly. It's normally he's got internet problems.
That's okay. The music it's the only medium which affects both of the sides of our brain, the left and right sides of our brain equally. This is why it's so powerful. So the music has a stronger and fuller impact on our brain and our waves of the brain, even in the voice. So the first would be sound of nature, so the vibrations we feel. And then the music obviously comes sort of right there because it's the most powerful medium. This is why, let's say when we do exercise classes, if you want to put a person in a meditative state, you would put the sounds of nature or like a waterfall or some of birds obviously singing, or just a very slow music. It literally impacts your nerve system and slows down your heart rate. And obviously we know if we dance or we do cycling classes or fitness classes, the music is pumping, so your body reacts on the beat. Like my partner, obviously, you know Ben Cohen, he is 50% deaf. And so he can't really hear the music properly, but he can hear the strong beat. Now, here in our well-being center, which we opened 2 years ago, So Yoga, we have meditation classes with sound bowls. I don't know if you're familiar with what they are. Yeah. They're like the big sound bowls. And you play in the sound bowls, which every vibration kind of works with the different chakra of the body. And when the first time I started playing them, he was so into it because he said, I can feel and I can hear all of those vibrations. I can literally hear all of the sounds. He said, I don't think I've ever experienced that, because hearing music properly and fully is not, he cannot hear it. But that sound of bowls and that vibration, he can experience and feel. He's absolutely loving it now. He's like, I want to play them myself. So there is something very, very soothing and deep about the sounds of nature, about those music sounds. So it's such a healing effect on everyone. So it's a beautiful,
strange to say that. It's really strange you say that, because actually the other day on this very show, Christina, we were featuring a guest who does all sorts of sound therapy.
Yeah.
She uses the sound bowls. You actually had a few sound bowls there. She also uses gong therapy as well.
Yeah.
So all of these different techniques that she was using and actually demonstrating live on air. And both Russ and I were saying that we found it absolutely amazing how when just something about hearing that sound bowl just did something to us. I don't know what it was, but it did something. And it had this most profound effect. And I'm wondering whether or not that, in all seriousness, whether or not dance, rhythm, something along those lines needs to be more recognized as some sort of actual therapy that can really help people in many different ways. And I wonder why it's not.
It is. No, it does exist, because I have a few teachers here at my studios who actually go, I think it's Oxford, I believe, or Cambridge. They have a sound healing courses where you become a proper sound healer. So they do all this music, sound, chakra balls therapy. It is such a powerful, magnificent effect on the body. And everybody would do what we call sound baths here. And people coming out literally saying that they had such an incredible experience. It's like they were levitating and going to a whole different world. And you feel balanced, you feel very soothed. And I think dancing has that powerful effect too, because you're moving to rhythm, you're becoming in tune with the body. And let's face it, that now in this time where we live in the digital world, unfortunately or fortunately, we're even deep into digital world because of the lockdown. We all moved online, everything, the businesses, the communication. We lack of that awareness of the body. We lack of the awareness of mind and body connection. But this is where, when you hear the music, your mind hears that it passes the signals to the body and you move. And that's where that therapy in a way comes together of mind and body connection. So whether it's dancing, whether it's moving,
Interesting you say that. I hope you can hear me, Phil. All right. Sorry, my computer completely crashed. There you go. One of the things I can't wait to do is get back into a drum music studio, a studio that's got a fully set up drum kit, and I can thrash, because once I'm there and after I've got over my initial self-embarrassment and just lose myself in it for a few hours, you get completely into the zone, and it must be like dancing. I mean, I'm completely in a different world when I'm drumming, and I love it. And it really is that and radio my happy places, and it's an extraordinary experience, isn't it? You forget everything else because you can only concentrate on that.
That's your mind space, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose, Anna, it's sort of like a form of meditation, really, isn't it? Because you so focused on the moment and what you're doing. It's the same way that those who meditate will go into deep breathing and they only focus on the breathing. I suppose this is a sort of similar kind of thing. Oh, and by the way, Ed Grossman tells me that I'm reinventing the wheel. I'm doing no such thing, Ed. I was questioning it. I had no idea. He says you need to look at Nordoff Robbins. They've been doing this for 40 plus years and it's very advanced. Okay, thank you, Ed. Didn't know about it. I do now.
Yeah, I was actually going to say about Nordoff Robbins, because we have used that in the school in the past. But for me, my dance is my escapism, because I'm so focused on what I do and the lifestyle that I lead with both my sons. I need to have something to recharge my batteries, and dance for me and exercise and walking is what recharges my batteries and helps me keep feeling young, because I want to keep as healthy and fit as I possibly can, for my sons and also for myself.
Anna, while I've got you here, and I'm sure Christina can jump in on this, you started a petition which I immediately signed, and it really, really resonated with me, because we've had loads of phone conversations and I can hear what's going on in the background. And your life, let's just say, is full on and very complicated and beyond stressful. And I must confess, I would last about 10 minutes, and you are a walking miracle. I mean, you really are. We're very proud that you're part of Men's Radio and Women's Radio. I mean that.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about your petition? Because I think it's very, very important. And I'd like to know what Christina thinks about it.
I think the petition is very, very important for a lot of families. And the reason being is what's at the back of every parent carer's minds is who's going to look after my son and my daughter when I'm no longer around. And because of all these horror stories that you hear about children or adults that are sent to assessment treatment units or been treated badly within the system, this is very much, because we're very much hands-on. And Sense, which is a charity, they actually did a survey a couple of years ago, and only 1 in 4 local authorities are aware of unpaid carers looking after their son's daughter or adults at home. So it's always at the back of my mind, and that's why I want to keep healthy and fit for as long as I possibly can, because it worries me. It's like I suppose more for my youngest son, because he's always going to need one-to-one care. He's got minimal verbal skills, quite significant sensory processing condition, really poor sleep pattern, can be quite difficult at night. Let's just say it can be quite challenging. But it's just like, who's going to look after them? Where they're going to be? So I'm sure even if you're a parent that hasn't got a child with a disability, you do worry. You know, it's like, who's going to keep an eye out for my son or for my daughter? So what you try and do is try and put as many navigations to help them throughout their life. But the petition is to start a discussion with Health and Social Care, with Helen Watley, to say, you know, what can we do? Because I think if you don't try, you'll never know. So what can we do to make life better and to make it not so stressful for parents and worry about, you know, what's going to happen to our kids?
How many signatures have you got now?
One of the things I spoke to an adult, and he's always been with his family, with his mum and dad. Now his father's died and his mum's got dementia, and he's saying, who's going to take care of me? I've always been with them. So there needs to be something that kicks in place to support the individuals.
How many signatures have you got now?
9,500. No, I've got actually I need 800 to get to 10,000. So
come on, we got to get it to 10,000.
Yes.
Anna, you hear that's on the radio, guys? Let's help out.
Yep. All you Christina fans come and sign.
10,000 signatures. It's recognised by the government, and so I just need another 800.
Yeah. It's such an important
bravo, because you started from zero, so it's a big achievement.
But that's Anna. That's Anna.
That is her. It's interesting what you say about keeping fit and healthy. I want to do that, so I'm around just long enough to really annoy Phil. That's my whole plan. That's why I do. That's why I get personal training twice a week. I have to.
I mean, I think Christina's got to go.
Yeah. Oh, she's got to go. Christina, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Sorry, guys, because I have.
No, we know. I know how busy you are. Bless you.
But you know, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh,
and I hope
thank you for coming.
Thank you, Christina, for supporting the charity as well. Thank you very much.
That's most welcome, and I hope a lot of people will support you, Anna. You know, Anna Kennedy online, and obviously Autism Dance Day. Learn the moves, show us, you know, your own things, and I'll be watching as well, and all the winners.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
I suggested if we did have okay, she's gone. So say if we had an audience, they were doing this. I was just going to give her a round of applause, but anyway, never mind. Oh well, there you go.
So I hope you two guys are going to show me some of your moves and share your photographs and videos online on Friday.
I'll say yes to pacify. But anyway, I mean, don't get me wrong, Anna. I support your cause, but
Anna, I would so pay money for that. I would pay good money for that video because I would just watch it on. I'd watch it on an endless loop. It would be fantastic. It would be fantastic. Anna, I've got a question for you, and it is: can I change the subject very, very slightly? Only, please don't. If it's too intrusive, just tell me to sod off. But you know, we've known each other for a couple of years now, and I watch what you do with great interest. You have, as I was trying to allude, a very, very difficult life. You do.
Well, some days good, some days not so good.
I know. And yesterday you posted a picture. Angelo was in a very bad mood, and he looked, you know, as grumpy as a kid can look. You're always so bubbly. You're always so positive. This is how, whenever we interact, this is how, whether it's private or public, this is how you are. And you have such a zest for life. What do you do? Because other people might have just said, this is the worst life ever. And, you know, what are your tips for everyone watching?
Obviously, I do have difficult days. So I don't really share this at all on social media. And some people might think well, let's just say Angelo doesn't sleep very much at all. And the thing is, you know, I do get down. And I think the thing with me is I get headaches a lot. You probably see that. And I think that's with the lack of sleep. And and because I'm so busy as well, I am a workaholic. Like, I know I am, and I that's just me. That's who I am. And I'm always very passionate about what I do. And I think it's my passion, it's my drive, and it's the love for my sons that keep me going. And people say to me, I'd like to bottle whatever you're on and sell it. Because
I would take it intravenously, Anna, to be honest with you. I could have your joie de vivre.
But I suppose I've always been taught since a child, no matter how you're feeling, always stand up tall, make the best of yourself, and just, be proud of what you do. And I think if you can put your hand on your heart and say, I've done my very best with everything, I always put 110% in everything that I do. And people know that. But there's just something inside me. I don't know what it is. And I think that when it's gone, then it's time for me to stop. But I don't think I'll ever lose it. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I take vitamins. I dance and I walk.
Anyway, nice to see you, Anna. Bye. She doesn't drink. Phil, she doesn't drink.
Oh, I know. I heard. I'm not impressed.
God's sake, don't invite her out with us.
I don't drink because my eldest son has no sense of danger. So if anything happened to him, I have to be on point all the time. So as you saw, I put the photograph, we got next door's chimney and stuff. He's always up to something.
And that actually, if that isn't dedication right there and then, I'm sorry, but you need if you don't need to know anything else about Anna, know that doesn't drink because she needs to make sure she's always giving 100% to her son. And what more do you need to know about you? What that says about what a remarkable individual you are.
But Anna, is that? I echo everything Phil just said, but is that not, in all seriousness, exhausting?
It can be exhausting. I don't know where I get my energy from because I only sleep like 3 hours a night, and sometimes I don't get any sleep at all. And I do get exhausted. And I think the way it comes out is in headaches because obviously it's got to come out somewhere. But no, I don't know. I'm made of tough stuff. I think
you're made of sort of concrete and steel and Kevlar. I think and carbon fiber. I don't know. Your headaches. Now it's interesting because. Phil and I have been having an ongoing discussion. I wonder where you stand on this. Well, we've got you. Phil's buggered up his back, basically, which is why he's not quite his normal self. And Phil won't take any pills. I would take anything. I don't care. Give it to me. I'm going to have it on a bucket load and feel better. How are you with your headaches? Do you take stuff or you just walk it off?
I just take things what you'd buy from the shop. I don't take anything stronger. Just I have got quite a high pain threshold, but if I need it and I need it, I've only ever had really, really bad migraines, and I've realized they're triggered by going in the perfume department. I remember I went to Harrods once, and the strong perfume smell really got to me, and I was ill for 4 days. Never had a migraine like it.
Wow.
So keep away from perfume departments.
Do you know what, Anna? I used to have work in an advertising agency. Happiest periods of my life, and the agency was in Knightsbridge, so every lunchtime, just to get away from my desk, I'd walk into Harrods. It was across the road, literally. And you know what the perfume department was called?
What?
It's called with all those women with makeup that you could get off with a Black & Decker truck. It was called the Piranha Pit. They say, where have you gone? I said, I went to the Piranha Pit, had a wander around.
Seriously,
bright orange women.
Phil, which I didn't say to Christina, why I was afraid as well when we were doing the lifts. Well, I was doing the Charleston, and Robin wanted to throw me here, there, and everywhere, and it was just like I've never experienced it. But what happened was I was actually practicing with Neil, and he's one of the Strictly dancers because Robin couldn't come because he's obviously not as big as Robin. When he did the lift, I actually felt this twinge go right up when he did it. And I thought, stop. So they sent me to physiotherapy. And do you know what? I got better in a week. And he said, for what I had, I shouldn't have. That's why I'm saying I'm made of tough stuff.
But the thing is with me is that, I am without a shadow of a doubt very stubborn, and I know that modern medicine is there for a reason. Modern medicine does help, but I can't help but wonder how it was that people survive for so long without it. I think we're too pill happy in this day and age. And this is not me trying to hug trees. This is not me trying to get back at one with nature or anything like that. This is just thinking logically. I have seen at least 2 generations of my family become so heavily dependent on medication for all sorts of needs and requirements. And I'll be honest, it scars me. I don't want to get like that. And if means that I have to tolerate a little bit of pain in order to make my pain threshold that little bit higher, I'll do it because I'd rather do it with a headache than something serious.
Have you been for like massage and that sort of thing?
Yes, I actually had one about I had a week ago today, and then I got another one booked in a week for today, if you see what I mean.
So they can help. And then I've heard acupuncture is quite good.
Now you see, Anna, I tried acupuncture when I had a very bad car smash. I had to learn to walk again, and the acupuncture, I fell asleep. It didn't do anything at all. I don't think it helped. It was perfectly nice. It was very relaxing.
I've never had it. I look at it and I just think needles. No,
you don't, Anna. I promise you. Well, you're a million times tougher than I'll ever be, and you do not feel it. I promise you, you don't feel it at all.
No.
It's very nice.
No, not interested. Hang on. Oh, skip just one cotton second, Elizabeth Green. What is this? For once, I agree with Phil. What do you mean for once?
That's coming in from New York. Oh, you're famous. Phil, you know what you just said about you watched 2 generations of pills. You think I'm going to make some snarky comment, and I'm not. I grew up with my parents when I was a little boy, and the bedside tables were covered with pills. And it affected me so badly that I will never have whatever pills I am, tablets I have to take. Everything's hidden away. Always. I will never have any medicine on show because I never want to be that person. So I understand what you're saying, Phil.
But I mean, I wouldn't mind. I'm not saying don't take modern medicine, because absolutely, if you've been prescribed it by doctors, we would only ever advocate that you follow doctor's advice. Unbelievable. What's the matter with you lot today, for crying out loud? Ramsey, Elizabeth, I agreed with Phil once too. Thank you. Right. What's this? I'm pouring my heart out here, and you lot are ganging up on me.
They don't care. They don't care.
So my problem is that I would wholeheartedly support modern medicine if it weren't for the fact that more often than not, modern medicine actually does offer, or sometimes prove, or give other problems. You know, it's not a straight. If it was a cure and that was it, I'd be all for it. It's the side effects, and then how you have to have medication to counter the side effects. I will never ever like that.
Are you going to have the vaccine, Phil?
Had it. I've already had it.
Oh, have you?
Had it twice. We've had it. What about you?
No, but
I had one. I had the Pfizer one. I did have a headache, but it was a different type of headache. So obviously, I get used to them. But it was like 5 days just behind my eyes. Sick. But my husband had the both of them. Not a thing. My mum had AstraZeneca. She's had a second one, and for 5 days now, she's not feeling so good. Headache, feeling a bit sick, but that's about it. But I suppose compared to what the actual condition is,
precisely.
You say that, Anna. That's so interesting. You say that, because my mother. I don't know anyone else who had this. I know people had headaches, but my mother as well, headache and feeling sick.
Yeah,
and haven't known anyone else to have that. It's really interesting. Can I just say, sorry, Mark J.W. Thomas is also listening. He says, I'd love not to be on prescription tablets for my conditions. Only 86.
Oh my word.
86. Hell.
Mark, wow.
Well, Mark, if you did dancing lessons with Anna Kennedy, you'd be your own maraca sort of South American rhythm section.
Crumbs.
86 pills.
Good
God, I'm on about 12. It's interesting what you say, Anna, about I had the first thing. It was a Pfizer. Absolutely, I mean, really nothing at all. Fabulous. I was prepared. Nothing. I had, and my close chum had on by pure chance, we went together. Both had it. Thursday, did the 3-hour show. Friday, struggled through that. Didn't feel great. Saturday, I felt terrible. Sunday, not good at all. She felt even worse. Monday lunchtime, I started to resurface and felt.
Is that Pfizer?
That was Pfizer. I feel absolutely fine. And my view was, and I think Anna, you've just summed it up beautifully. It's a small price to pay. I don't mind feeling rubbish for 2-3 days. No big deal. To not have the effects of COVID. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised my sons haven't been offered it yet, because they're both obviously on the spectrum, and I thought that they were supposed to be a priority, but they haven't been offered anything yet.
But I was thinking about what you were saying about the vaccination. It's funny because people who know me, who know I avoid medication, they've often sort of said the same thing. Would you take the vaccination? Now, I've always said modern medicine is too readily given out, but I would also suggest that when it is absolutely essential, it's absolutely essential. So when you look at something like the pandemic, well, I don't see any other way out but to vaccinate our way out of this. If someone can tell me there's an alternative, sure, I'd take it, but I don't see it.
I was pretty shocked to read in America, there's lots and lots, and it's happening more and more now, that people are not having their second vaccination. Have you heard that?
Yes, I did. I read that yesterday because I get the American, because I'm obsessed with America, I get all the American news feeds straight onto my laptop, and it says loads of people are just not showing up. What's the point of that?
I don't understand why that is, because obviously they're not going to get full protection, are they?
Of course not.
And they obviously don't have a problem with taking it because they've taken the first dose. So what's the point? That's
it's because the argument is, and Phil sums it up, Phil and I've talked about this a lot, Anna, because thanks to social media, people would rather listen to Doreen, the hairdresser from Stoke-on-Trent, than someone who is a medical expert, has spent 20 plus years studying this. Doreen's opinion somehow outweighs the experts. This is the madness of 2021. This is the world we live.
Okay, you can hear the flippancy now. You'd hear someone say, well, hang on a second, COVID hasn't been around for 20 years. Even if COVID hasn't been around for 20 months, the fact is, who are you going to listen to more? Someone who has no background in medicine, who's got some wacky theory, or are you going to listen to someone who has spent years studying medicine, knows how the body and the mind works, and therefore is much more likely to know how to get us out of it? Let's think about this. Oh, I know who I'm going to listen to. The medics. Thanks.
Yeah, when I shared on social media that I was going to be having the vaccination, you wouldn't believe the amount of messages I received in my inbox saying, Anna, don't go, sharing all of this, like, I'm not going to say what it was, but they shared so much information with me. We need you. I thought, I'm not going to die.
We need you. Oh my God.
We need you. I would have answered back and said, in fact, when I have it, because I'll have Bill Gates in my head and I will be living underneath a 5G mast, I'll be able to help you even more.
But I couldn't believe the amount of inbox messages I received. And, I'm grateful that they were thinking of me, but it was just like, no, I was just shocked that that's what happened. But hey.
It has really shown, I use the word civilization, for what it is. It shows such a mirror on it. And
a lot of people have lost friends over it, and arguments that they've had. And it's just like, you can have your opinion, but don't lose your friends over it.
If anything, I suggest we keep our friends over it. That's the whole point.
We need to all support each other. It's hard. Life is hard enough as it is, as I always say. Everybody, it's about networking, it's about social media. Bullying is increased on social media, especially with vulnerable adults. And it's just like, it really annoys me. Why do people bully each other? I don't understand their mindset. It's just, why would you want to make someone's life? Yesterday, one of our adults, there was some awful comments that were made on Twitter, and it's just like, why would you want to do that?
Why are people so poisonous? Why are they so poisonous?
Yeah,
what do they get out of it?
It's easy now because it's on social media. I was talking to my mother-in-law, she's 89. She said in the past it used to be poison pen letters.
Yeah, of course it was all Agatha Christie, wasn't it? It's all very
Agatha
Christie.
I would never ever excuse anyone behaving in a certain way. But the only thing I can possibly think of, speaking as someone, I've spoken openly about this, having sort of really been on the receiving end of bullying through school years or what have you, is that there are, I think, two factors to this. Number one, I think people don't like seeing anyone who is stronger than them because it makes them feel more vulnerable. So the only way they can get back at them is to try and bring them down to their level. It's the best they can do. The other thing as well is that we all need to vent frustration. Everyone has anger within them somewhere. It just manifests in different ways. If someone is genuinely that angry and that frustrated with life, then they need some sort of let out. And if people don't have a physical punching bag, then they've got a verbal punching bag. And that's sort of what either social media offers the chance, or an individual, worse still, an individual offers that chance, is you can be that metaphorical punching bag for someone to make them feel better. You might feel like hell afterwards, but it makes them, and that's the reason why.
It's pathetic.
And it's also people who achieve things as well. Like if they're down and out and, you know, that, oh, isn't it terrible? But as soon as someone starts to make something of themselves, I've watched it on social media, people criticize them, and it's just
Of
like,
course, they hate success.
well done. You've achieved this. Look what you've done, you know. And I'm not saying everyone, but there's, I don't get it.
I love watching other people's success. I genuinely do. And I always send a congratulatory message, even if I don't know that person, because I think it's an admirable thing. But it was called like the British disease, Anna, and I think Phil would agree with this, is that in America, people make success, they go, yay, good for you. And over here, it's like, ooh, and they got to tear you down. So, and especially the media, you know, thank God I'm not in it. I never want to do that. But they build you up, and then they can destroy you. And then when you're down in the gutter, oh, we love you really. And then they'll be kind to you. It's too late by then.
It's very simple. Our transatlantic cousins have the American dream. We have the British nightmare. It's
kind of now, Anna, while we've got you, just for the last couple of minutes, you've through your work with autism have made contacts and been working alongside Katie Price. We were hoping to get her on the show, but she couldn't make it because she's moving home or whatever she's doing. How does she endure the horrible comments about her son?
Well, obviously she's created Harvey's Law now, and she's got another petition on the go. But people just have made some really, really awful comments about Harvey. And I've met Harvey quite a few times now, and he's such a lovely, but he's such a vulnerable young man. He's got multiple disabilities and health issues. And I think it's because of Katie and who she is, whether you love her or you hate her, but she's a good mom to those kids. And all of her children came to one of our events, and they were all so well.
Must have been sold out.
They were all so well behaved. They were excited by the raffle that we had going, and you know, they wanted to help, and it was, you know, and yeah, she gets a lot of backlash, let's just say, and sometimes she makes a rod for her own back. But you know, she's a bit like Marmite. You either love her or you hate. But for me, it's about Harvey, and it's about what she does with Harvey. You know, and it's not an easy life with Harvey. And at the minute, she's at a milestone with Harvey. It's transition, trying to find a suitable placement for him. There's nothing near where she lives. There's a 3-hour drive, and that's what she's worried about. And also, she hasn't heard whether he's got funding as well for the placement. And it's obviously time's moving on now, and he needs a place for September, because if not, he'll end up at home with nothing.
I think I just want to say this, whatever one might think about Katie Price, and I wouldn't be in the vanguard of her fans of who she is, but she's a mom. So if you put whatever you might think, I think one should be a decent human being and say, here is a mom. Forget what she did or who she is. She's a mom struggling with enormous problems. And I think that is the decent thing. And the only way to look at that, I think you have to put whatever your prejudice is to one side.
Harvey. She's got a really lovely bond with Harvey, and you know, he's quite a character, and he's lovely, and he's obviously got all his interests. They're doing a second series now, because obviously I was part of the first documentary called Harvey and Me. And now she's doing a second one, and then Harvey has now got his own little series going on because of his love of trains. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
So it must be very, very hard. Sorry, as we wind up, it must be very difficult. I met her a few times, but a million years ago, when we played football together. It must be very difficult when the media say, oh, you're just doing this for your own good because you don't have a career, so you're using your son. That must be horribly hurtful for anybody in any situation.
Yeah, what she wants to do is she wants to raise more awareness and acceptance. And, you know, since she's met me, we've been chatting. She loves what the charity does. We now do a chat show interviewing autistic adults to give them a voice, to give them a platform to talk about what they do. And we had the first one with Sienna, which is she's one of my ambassadors, and she was told at school she'd never amount to anything. The amount of things this girl's been through, and now she's flying. She's written 3 books. She's only 18. She's got herself a place at Harvard.
God damn.
She's just so clever. But it just shows you that you should never write anyone off, and you should, you know, give everybody the opportunity. And that's what our charity is about. It's about creating a platform, about creating opportunities or a springboard to help them get onto the next level. One of the things is that
Anna, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, but we are completely and utterly out of time. But thank you so much indeed for taking.
Right, thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Bye.
See you again soon. Bye, Anna. There you go. Fabulous. Thank you very much indeed to Anna Kennedy. Thank you very much indeed to Christina as well earlier on. Thank you very much for your comments. We're so sorry we didn't get the chance to read all of them out, but hey, as you can tell, it was a bit of a busy hour, to be honest.
Slightly, just very, very slightly. Should we do it all again on Wednesday, young man?
No, I think we should do it on Friday at 11 o'clock.
Oh, is it Wednesday today? Jesus.
See you Friday at 11. Bye,
It
everyone.
was Monday.
Oh, mad.